Haikyuu is an anime that never ceases to amaze me, particularly with its ability to bring its characters to life. Rarely do I see a story with such beautifully crafted individuals who go through troubles that anyone and everyone could relate to. Almost all the characters that we encounter have something in them that distinguishes them from the others, even if that distinction is quite subtle. However, I'm not here to talk about the individuals today, rather about something that is quite the opposite. An opposite that exists to bring these individuals together behind a singular purpose or ideal. A team. The teams in Haikyuu are really interesting. Each of them have distinct traits that reflect their playstyles, their players' attitudes towards the game, and create this vibe that you can easily identify. Of course, not every player on the team is the same or has the same mindset as the others, but even those players complement the team in a way that only increases the synergy. And perhaps one of the most important parts of what makes them a system and not just a collection of individuals is that banner we always see in the stands. Those colored banners with slogans that on the surface seem rather insignificant and are overshadowed by the players and the events that occur on the court. However, they're much more than words on a piece of cloth. They represent the foundation that most of these teams are formed upon. Among all the teams that we encountered, I found something in each of them that I could take and learn from, whether it be their train of thought or how they approach different problems. They were all inspiring in their own rights, and that was wonderful to experience. There was one team in particular though, which inspired me in a terrifying way. A team that gave me this feeling of excitement and anticipation every time the ball went into their court, because I genuinely never knew what they were going to pull. Enter Inarizaki, the ultimate challengers and the second best team in Japan. What I love about Inarizaki is obviously the players and how they complement one another, but firstly, their philosophy. A philosophy that might seem arrogant on the surface, but like its players, is scarily inspiring. We don't need the memories. Inarizaki is a team that never stops evolving. Even called unstable by some, it truly is an explosive and ever-growing beast, quite similar to Karasuno, though not completely. In my opinion, they outclass Karasuno when it comes to risk-taking. To Inarizaki, no time is a bad time for taking risks. Hell, it feels as if they're always taking risks. It is a team that never stops looking forward, while also never looking back. Past accomplishments, matches, plays, none of those matter. All of it pales in comparison to the present, to the now. Indeed, it's a frightening way to approach things, yet I just can't help but get chills every time I see these guys try something new in a high-stakes, high-pressure situation. When playing Karasuno, we already knew that they were a deadly team beforehand, but then when Atsumu copies Hinata and Kageyama's quick, something no one had ever done in a single try, I knew that these guys were something we'd never seen before. Their ability to disregard fear itself and jump headfirst into whatever it is that they're doing is honestly beautiful to watch. And although they take all these risks, they're calculated risks, at least most of the time, and tend to succeed at a fairly high rate. Inarizaki is different from a previous team we met, Josenji, which was completely wild and free with risks that weren't really calculated and well beyond some of their abilities. They were truly chaos incarnate. Inarizaki though gives me the vibe of controlled chaos, where they actually know that they will be able to pull off these moves, which personally terrifies me even more than just pure chaos. The players that comprise Inarizaki are quite fascinating. We have the Miya twins, the heart and soul of the team, Kita Shinsuke, the foundation that allows the rest of them to run wild, Ojiro Aran, the powerful cannon, Rintaro Suna, the middle blocker that can't be blocked, and a few other strong players. Although we don't get a backstory for each and every one of them, the ones we do learn of are just spectacular. First off, we have Miya Atsumu, the passionate monster who's the best setter in the nation, along with his brother Osamu, who's on the same level as his twin in terms of skill. I love that the twins aren't the same exact person or have the same personality. They're unique individuals like they would be in real life, with one of them unfortunately being slightly better than the other. Atsumu was chosen over his brother for a national level training camp because of his sheer love for the game of volleyball, a hunger that Osamu admits that he lacks. These two, however different they are though, are the reason for each other's success. They are so competitive with one another that it leads to their own growth. Another reason why they fit this team so well. I would say that it's these two that embody the spirit of Inarizaki's philosophy the strongest. The way they approach the game, the mindsets with which they compete, and the recklessness with which they play all trace back to the fundamental idea of we don't need the memories. Atsumu and Osamu are so fixated on just getting better and playing more volleyball that they completely disregard the past and simply use it as a mechanism to improve their game. They are the perfect definition of the iconic Haikyuu term, volleyball idiots, where they push forward no matter what just to stay on the court. Their captain though, Kita Shinsuke, doesn't harbor that same mindset himself. He is quite the opposite of these volleyball idiots. He's organized, methodical, and way more reliable. He himself admits that simply running ahead without having anything to fall back on seems like a stupid idea in his head. However, that doesn't mean that he's against those that do live by that. Hell, I think players like the Miya twins flourish even more because of Kita, someone who's always there to pick up their slack or make up for their risky plays with reliable ones, enabling the volleyball idiots to run even more free and wreak even more havoc. He's the pillar of stability among the chaos, able to rein the wild monsters in when he needs to, but letting them loose most of the time because they know that Kita has their back. Although we have monsters like the Miya twins on the team, some of the newer players are actually quite intimidated and in awe of them. And so the way we, as an audience, are introduced to Inarizaki's philosophy is through one of these new players, one of Inarizaki's first years, a pin server named Riseki Heisuke, whose mini arc is actually really cool. Riseki, who is called on as a pin server for Inarizaki in his first ever match, is insanely nervous, as one would be. He's afraid, like Yamaguchi was in previous seasons, that he will miss. His only job is to serve, and if he messes that up, then there's no point. On top of that, Riseki remembers his last match, which was in middle school. He was called on as a pin server then, and he ended up missing, and then he never got a chance to play after that. And so, afraid that he'd never get to play again, Riseki decides that he just needs to get the ball over the net no matter what. He serves a rather weak jump serve, getting the ball over, but Karasuno digs it with no effort and easily scores a point. As Riseki walks back to the bench, the Inarizaki cheering squad starts booing him because they believe he made a weak play. This again shows that this spirit is so strong it even lies within the fans, and that they would rather have one of their players miss, knowing that he tried his best, than him just getting the ball over. Kita also tells him that we don't need someone on our team who just gets the ball over. Riseki feels pretty terrible for this, and thinks that he's never gonna get picked again, just like back in middle school. Just like in the past. His past is constantly haunting him, whether it be in his serves or his mindset. He's the very thing that Inarizaki's philosophy despises. But fortunately, he gets called later on, and as Riseki sits there next to his coach, Kurosu sensei tells him something that finally seems to hit him.
昨日を守って明日何になれる? 何か一つでいい。今日挑戦しや。
If we keep holding on to yesterday, what are we going to be tomorrow? A powerful line and perfectly aligned with Inarizaki's philosophy. A line that shows just how driven this team is. Riseki is inspired by this, and as he watches the players on the court, it starts to dawn on him. We are now in the third set of the match against Karasuno, and although it feels as if all the tricks have been used and there are no surprises left from either team, Osamu and Atsumu have other ideas. Even here in the third and final set, these monsters are not afraid to experiment. Here we get a look into the twins' minds. Atsumu and Osamu themselves admit that they don't care for things like being ranked second in the country. That is all in the past. Osamu says the previous games have all been converted into muscle, to be used and not dwelled upon. But the present, now that is something to think about. And as the ball heads towards Osamu, the brothers say a line that gives me chills every time I watch it. They then proceed to pull something that no one in their right mind would expect. Indeed, it is the free quick set, where Atsumu, the setter, is the one spiking, while Osamu, the spiker, is setting. The absurdity of this play still baffles me. Osamu pulling off a set that most setters are incapable of doing, while not even being the setter of his team, is beyond insane. This play is so devastating that it puts Karasuno in a panic frenzy for the next few points. This one play defines Inarizaki so perfectly. Indeed, it was the ultimate risk, the ultimate payoff, the ultimate attack, and the ultimate challenge. And it is then that Uriseki understands what it is that he's truly a part of. A lot of people, including me, are hindered by their past, unable to achieve the greatness that they desire. Taking risks is not something one can just do that easily, and as Kita himself admits, it is a talent in of itself. It takes a lot of courage and passion to really dedicate yourself so devoutly, and seeing a group of people who not only play by such a philosophy but live by it made me want to be a better person. Inarizaki is a team that truly transcended the screen and taught me to take risks and chase my dreams without looking back. To me, Inarizaki is not just a team that plays volleyball. It is a team that is hungry for evolution, a team that never looks back while always pushing forward, a team that is frighteningly inspiring. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and let me know what other team you want me to talk about. Other than that, I guess I'll see you on the next one.